I'm afraid I've been a bit of a naughty boy, Mrs. Slocum.
And if you can see my pussy, would you drop a sardine on the mat?
It's between these two.
Well, there is very little between those two. This is Miss Brown's.
May I say what a pleasure it is having your son on the floor?
One doesn't often hear that. If it's all right with you, I'd like to drop my trousers and display my wife rubber.
Ground floor perfumery, stationery and leather goods, wigs and haberdashery, kitchenware and food going up.
All right. Hello? Oh, hello, Mother. What a surprise to hear your voice. I was just thinking of you. How are you enjoying your trip to Hollywood? Oh, I'm having the time of my life. Do you know, you've no idea. It's hard to believe, isn't it? I still can't believe it. Just 3 weeks ago, I entered that sweepstake at the chemist, and now here I am, halfway around the world in the heart of show business. All expenses paid. Who could ask for anything more? You could have taken your loving, caring son along. Oh, I've been having the time of my life. Well, just the other day, I toured a motion picture studio and was nearly mauled by a giant plastic shark when I met a lovely gentleman. His name's Mr. Alfred Friggin, but he insisted I call him Alfie. Alfred Friggin, the famous publisher? The man who refused to print Lady Di's autobiography because of all the misspelt words. Very same. I told him all about you and your friends at Grace Brothers. He thinks your adventures would make a wonderful book. A book? About my life? Oh, Mother, you can't be serious. Well, Alfie says lots of people would be interested, especially here in America. They're a nosy lot. They love to know everybody's business. Oh, Mother, it's a flattering offer, but, well, I just don't know if I could find the time to write it. Alfie said if you're free to write a rough draft by Tuesday, he'll advance you $50,000. I'm free. Oh, so proud. My son, the acclaimed author, spinning tales of romance, adventure and excitement. Oh, adventure and excitement. Mother, I worked for Grace Brothers, not Scotland Yard. Things are a little bit different in gentlemen's ready-to-wear.
Mr. Humphries, are you free?
I'm free.
I see you have a customer.
No, sir. As a matter of fact, I was just repricing my stock. I put the shirts up 95 pence, and gloves and ties up 50. And if it's all right with you, I'd like to drop my trousers and display my wife rubber. As you can see, it's got the lovely high collar, very haute couture, deep pockets, a nice full back. Note the swell. And of course, with the high heels, you get that lovely bounce.
Do you know, I'm really very tempted. It's so difficult to decide. It's very distracting seeing those trousers and that hair.
Hang on a minute. All things bright and beautiful.
He's going to listen to the race on the radio and then mime it to us. Is that right?
Oh, right. Oh, great. What's he doing? Oh, he's miming. He's miming inside leg.
Now what's he doing?
I've no idea.
He looks as if he's playing tennis.
Oh, I've got it. I played charades before. Now, that means first word. First word.
Kick. He's kicking the horse.
5 seconds to go.
5 seconds to go, yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inside leg.
It's a lady horse.
It's a lady horse without a bra.
It's out in front.
Oh, Rummy, it's another horse passing it.
Oh, which one's that?
It's a teapot.
I'll go through the field. Hang on. Inside leg, nightcap, frenzy, holiday queen.
Oh, holiday queen. I've got it. Necking. Necking. They're neck and neck.
Inside leg. Is that out in front? From a holiday queen.
It's a letter.
Oh, the post. They're inside of the post.
Inside leg.
He's got his nose in front.
That's right.
Yes.
Holiday queen.
Queen. And they're getting to the
Near the
post.
post.
The post. It's the post.
Put me down! No! Please! No, put me down!
Take your trousers off.
Oh! I never thought those words could cause such mixed emotions. Keep your hands off me! I thought you weren't supposed to harm anything animal, vegetable, or insect.
I didn't say anything about fairy cakes.
Never seen anything like this since Emmanuel too.
Take him out. Take his things off.
Ow! You very nearly did. Hand!
Now, I want no unnecessary gouging or kicking with the point of the toe.
Oh, no.
No, not so. I've never seen anybody so keen. Right. Any questions?
Yes. Did you get that ribbon from haberdashery?
Watch it, Twinkle Toes.
Right, go to your corners and come out fighting when I bring the bell. Come on!
Are you listening?
I haven't got much choice, have I? No!
You got any grudge against me?
Well, of course not. I'm sure under other circumstances we could get on quite well.
In that case, all we gotta do is make it look good.
I'm entirely in your hands.
Here, have you ever seen a flying cross buttock?
Not for a couple of weeks, no.
First thing we gotta do is whirl you around my shoulders and slam you onto the floor. They call it a propeller.
What am I going to do?
You're gonna do an agonising yell.
Oh, I think I can manage that.
Instead of a flying propeller.
Watch it!
I'll be the judge of that.
That was a good yell. I think you've done this game before.
But not with so many people watching.
Now I'm going to show you a Patagogan nose hold. It looks absolutely ghastly. So here we go. Don't forget to yell. Yeah, they're hating me now.
I'm not so keen on you myself.
Get out of here.
That's it. I've seen enough. Are you going home? No, I'm going in. You great bully. Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?
Mr. Humphries, could I have a word with you, please? Mr. Humphries, I have a little problem. No. In the past, Mr. Humphries, I have found it very difficult handling people who aren't actually actors. I mean, they can be so sensitive, can't they?
Oh, they can.
Yes, and they get upset so easily. So what I wondered was, could you use your tact, and may I say, charm, to convey to these people my wishes? I mean, after all, you do know them very well, don't you?
Like the back of my hand.
And I do know you.
May I say, one gin and tonic in the Grenadiers' retreat does not amount to a lasting friendship. I'll do my best for you.
Thank you.
How's this?
Oh, no, hold it. Look at that head. It's shining like the dome of St. Paul's, isn't it? I mean, it's the top half of Humpty Dumpty. We can't have that. We've got to do something about those ghastly ears.
He looks like a hang glider.
I'd have said more like a wingnut.
Shall I say my piece now?
Not yet, Mr. Rumble. We've got a couple of problems.
Yes, one on either side.
Mr. Humphries, you'll have to tell him we've got to get rid of those ridiculous ears.
No wonder you find people sensitive. Very good, Mr. Rumble. How's that?
That's better.
Mr. Spooner, sellotape, quick.
There you are, Mr. Humphries.
Yes, that's a marked improvement.
You seem to have travelled from the grotesque to the bizarre.
You know, I still don't like his head.
Well, that's rather unfortunate, because his mouth's in it, and that's the bit we're going to use.
Shall I speak now?
No, not yet.
Look, can't we try a wig on him?
Or a half rug.
I wonder if you'd mind trying one of these. They're very popular with newsreaders.
I don't mind having a bald head. Actually, it's considered to be rather virile.
That's the trouble. We don't want people coming into the store for the wrong reasons, do we? This is silly. I can't see how my job would be interesting enough to hold anyone's attention. Chapter 1, taking an inside leg. After that, the whole thing goes limp. You're being much too hard on yourself, dear. Remember when you used to come home after a day at the store? I'd bring out a glass of milk and a plate of your favourite cookies. Gingerbread sailors. Oh, I remember. And I tried to nibble off every last bit of their tunic without breaking the crust. Yes, that worried me a bit. Still, we'd sit in the kitchen and you'd tell those marvellous stories about your day. You must have enough for 10 books. You know, Mother, you're absolutely right. Grace Brothers was one of a kind. And there's one person who made it truly colourful. Mrs. Slocum. I could probably devote an entire chapter to her hair colour alone.
Hello, is that Mr. Akbar? Mrs. Slocum here, your next-door neighbour. I wonder, would you do me a favour? Would you go to my front door, bend down, and look through the letterbox? And if you can see my pussy, would you drop a sardine on the mat?
Mr. Lucas is doing his best to make us feel at home, Captain Peacock, which is more than can be said for the rest of the department.
Well, just a passing phase, Mrs. Slocum. With your personality, I'm sure you could charm the very birds off the tree.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Neither would I.
And Lucas, while you're down there, straighten those seams. I hate to see crooked seams.
Yes, Mr. Peacock. Captain Peacock. I'm sorry, Mrs. Slocum. Captain Peacock told me to do it. No, I mean, straighten them, and not yours, the dummies.
Grip in once, you'll...
Yes, thank you. I'm so...
Are you all right, Mrs. Slocum?
Oh, that? Mr. Lucas just put his hands all over my stockings.
Oh, dear. I hope he didn't lather them.
No. He has quite smooth hands, actually.
Mrs. Slocum, on the stool, please. Give her a hand, Mr. Lucas. You're a woman of mystery.
Not after getting on that stool, she's not.
That will be quite enough, Mr. Lucas.
The sound is hopeless. Give her the radio mic, Mr. Lucas.
Yeah, put this on, Mrs. Slocum.
What do I do with that?
You put it down there.
Down where?
Allow me.
If anything is to be located in my cleavage, I'll do the locating. Oh, it's dropped down.
It slipped right down, Mr. Hammer.
Well, it can't have gone all that far. Tell her to speak up a bit. And while you're at it, ask Captain Peacock for a voice test. I want to try and get him on the same radio, mate.
Say the next line.
Your face seems very familiar.
It's very faint. Get closer.
Closer.
Your face seems very familiar.
Closer.
Closer.
Your face seems very familiar.
How's that?
Like somebody yelling down a lift shaft.
But I took Pussy to the vet, and he confirmed it. So since then, I've kept her in a basket by the radiator. Well, you can't be too careful, can you?
Everything happens to you, doesn't it?
That's what Mrs. Axelby said.
When is the happy event?
Well, I was so worried that I went to the clinic again yesterday. And they said it could be any day now. The funny thing is, it doesn't show.
That's why she's off her food.
Perhaps it's because it's the first time.
Well, that does make a difference, of course.
It's a pity, though, with what you haven't been so careful and all.
Now that I've got over the first shock, I'm quite looking forward to it.
You say you don't know who the father is?
Well, yes and no. I suspect that it happened on my birthday. You see, I came back from the pub after a few too many, and I didn't shut the door properly. I think he lives with that woman in the next house.
He's ginger, isn't he?
No, it wouldn't be that one. He had the operation 2 years ago. He's Burmese. His name's Wan Ting. He spends all day long crouched in the rhubarb, peering at...
Is he at home?
Either there or in the fitting room.
I knew she'd choose the Princess Grace model.
What do you think?
Well, that train will have to go for a start. Oh, on second thought, you could use it as a top sheet on the bridal bed. Turn round.
Yes, it's going to need letting out just a bit there.
What did you choose this one for?
It was reduced by 50%.
Well, if we could reduce you by 50%, we'd be in business. Come on, hang on to the counter. Miss Brahms, take her shoulders. That's it. Right. Now, now take a deep breath in. And second pulse, take a deep breath out. That's it. That's it. I've got it. There.
You've got a bit of a problem here.
Dear Mrs. Slocum, always the bridesmaid and never the bride. Do you think she'll ever find the man of her dreams? Oh, one can only hope. She once thought I was the man of her dreams, but it would never have worked out. Even our similarities are different. Well, I've got to go now, dear. Alfie's taking me sailing, and I must go and get ready. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mother. Oh, good heavens. Well, if I've got to write an entire book by Tuesday, I better get going. Then, Chapter 1. Taking an inside leg. Taking an inside leg. I could see he was very tall as he came out of the elevator and walked down the stairs. I'm going to need a very long tape for this, I thought to myself. Oh! Menswear. Oh, hello, Mother. Do you know what time it is? Oh, I'm sorry to take you away from your beauty sleep, dear. I know it's late, but I've got the most wonderful news. How's your book coming on? Well, a bit slowly, I'm afraid. What's your good news? Is everything all right? Oh, things couldn't be better. Alfie took me out for a sail with some of his friends, and you'll never believe who was on the boat. Morgan Peppermill, the famous motion picture producer. Morgan Peppermill? The man who once told James Stewart to stop stammering because the price of film was going up. The same. And here's the news. I was telling him all about the book you're writing for Alfie. Can you believe it? He wants to make your book into a movie. A movie? Yes, you know, dear. Like Laurel and Hardy and Gone with the Wind. I know what a movie is, Mother, but I've barely begun writing the book. Oh, don't worry, dear. You'll have plenty of time. He said he won't even need your finished screenplay until Thursday. And according to my calculations, it's only Sunday morning in London. Well, do you know, he sent me the most beautiful bouquet of flowers to consummate the deal. Oh, very touching. You get consummated and I get constipated. I've never worked so hard in all my life. Morgan loves the romantic angle. The men's versus the ladies. The battle between the sexes, he called it. Romance at Grace Brothers? Oh, Mother, what did you tell the man? There was never the slightest hint of hanky-panky on the floor. Absolutely none. Well, none that any of us would admit to, anyway.
I know what, I'll send her a note. Here, lend me your pencil. Bit short on lead, aren't you?
What you going to say?
Dear sexy knickers.
That's subtle.
Well, if you don't ask, you don't get, do you? I don't half fancy you.
Well, I'm glad to see romance isn't dead.
Meet me outside at 5:30 and we'll get it together.
What, outside at 5:30? You'll be running.
Hey up, she's looking at you again.
I know. I can feel the hair standing up on the back of my neck.
Do you think she wants something?
I hope not. Do you know, I can't think what's come over her. I've only got to give her the slightest hint of a smile, and she goes all wobbly at the knees. Watch this.
What have you got there?
It's a bit of paper. Captain Peacock gave it to me. Oh, it's a note. Pass me glasses, Miss Brown. Dear sexy knickers, I don't half fancy you. Meet me outside at 5:30 and we'll get it together. Get what? How are you this morning, Mr. Humphries?
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, Mrs. Slocum.
You've broken my dream. Last night I dreamt that you were Squirrel Nutkin. And I was a little lady squirrel. And you'd built your house halfway up an oak tree.
Was it thatched in dandelion leaves?
How did you guess?
I never use anything else.
Well, anyway, in my dream, I climbed up the tree and I knocked on your little door. And you pretended you weren't in, so I had to kick it down. And there you were, hiding behind your acorn. What do you suppose that means?
It means I've got to build it a damn sight higher next year.
Oh, I do love a man with a sense of humour. I always say if a man can make you laugh, everything else will follow.
In my case, Mrs. Slocum, it may be a very long way behind.
I brought these for you. I thought they'd be lovely in front of a little log fire.
I haven't got a log fire.
Haven't you? Oh, I know where there's a lovely one. Hello, Captain Peacock. This is Sexy Knickers.
Would you mind repeating that?
This is Sexy Knickers.
That's what I thought you said. I beg your pardon, but am I speaking to a customer?
Naughty boy. Customer indeed. No, I'm not promising anything, but I'll meet you outside at 5:30.
How shall I know you?
What do you mean, Alfie? You sent me the note.
To whom am I speaking?
Do you mean you really don't know?
I've no idea.
Thank heaven for that.
I was clearing out our attic at home the other day and I found this old calendar called The Week of Love. It said Monday for meeting, Tuesday for talking, Wednesday for wishing, Thursday for touching, Friday, for some reason, had been torn out.
Mr. Humphries, I want you to put yourself completely in my hands.
Mrs. Slocum, if you're thinking what I think you're thinking, it's not going to be easy for you.
Just pretend you're on a camping holiday with a friend.
That wasn't the best suggestion you could make.
Here we are.
Oh, this is nice. What a lovely bedspread. Those bristles get everywhere.
Now, just try that bed. It's ever so comfy.
Oh, yeah. It's got a lot of life in it.
There's a lot of life in me as well.
Captain Peacock speaking. Who is that?
This is Sexy Knickers here.
Anything I can do, Captain Peacock?
Just a routine inquiry.
I just wanted to tell you that I couldn't fancy you if you're the last man left in gents ready-made. If I was your age, I'd take myself...
Just hold on to this for a moment, will you, Mr. Humphries?
Yes, Captain Peacock.
...prove that sewer that you call a mind, instead of running around like some Peter Pan what's been knocking back the pet pills.
Is that a complaint, Mr. Humphries?
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes, Mr. Granger.
I'd better take it.
Just because I let you take my corsets down once doesn't mean to say... any more of your old guff, I'm going to have you on the carpet.
Mind what you say, Miss Brown?
I think Miss Brown's has said enough. I think some explanation is called for.
Is everything all right, Mr. Granger?
Some lady says she wants to have me on the carpet.
My chapter on romance at Grace Brothers just wouldn't be complete without the one man who stood out from all the rest. Are you referring to Corporal Pompous? Peacock, man. Captain Peacock. Although we always said he was all pea and no... Well, no one could help but admire the sheer recklessness with which he conducted his affairs.
Morning, Captain Peacock. Morning, Miss Belfridge. I see you had no difficulty in getting here this morning.
No, sir. My wife happens to be away, so I stayed with an old army friend who happens to have a flat round the corner. Oh, good morning, Miss Belfridge.
Oh, good morning, Captain Peacock.
Isn't that Miss Belfridge's umbrella? I distinctly remember signing her staff discount chit for it.
Is it? Oh, my goodness me, so it is. I must have picked it up last night by mistake.
And I somehow seem to have yours, Stephen.
What luck.
You've never mentioned having an old army friend with a flat round the corner?
No, I just happened to bump into him the other day, and he gave me the key. It saves a bit of money on fares.
Oh, but it's got a lovely view.
Captain Peacock, I very seldom involve myself in the private lives of my staff, but is there anything about you and Miss Belfridge that I should know?
I can safely say there is absolutely nothing that you should know.
Stephen?
Oh.
Do you want to see me?
You should really ask my permission to be on the floor, but I'll overlook it this time.
The only thing he has overlooked.
I'm just trying to make up my mind about this costume. Now, do you think it's too big?
I wouldn't say that.
It's between these two.
Well, there is very little between those two. During our discussion, you did tell me that my costume would give me the appropriate air of authority. Well, I'm getting a lot of air, but very little authority.
You better get back there.
Yes, sir.
Quiet a moment. What's that strange creaking noise?
My trousers, they're not run in yet.
People can be very sensitive about boils. So I must ask you, even for my own sake, don't mention anything about it while he's here.
Well, I won't say a word. I wouldn't be that cheeky.
What you got there, Captain Peacock?
Cup of tea.
No, I meant that thing on your arm.
Oh, this. Yes, it's a rubber ring. The medical department have had a lot of complaints recently about the poor quality rubber, and I volunteered to test it for a few days.
Well, if you're going to test it, you want to treat it a bit rougher than that, you know. You want to bounce up down a bit.
That will come later. I must say that any resemblance between that and tea is purely coincidental.
That's because they never bring the water to the boil.
Seems to be a lot of hilarity this morning. I suppose, as usual, I shall be the last one to know what caused it.
There's a very good article in that paper about the great train robbery.
Oh, yes, I was reading about it in the bus.
Standing up.
Yes, it was full, as usual. It's my theory that most of the money finished up in South America.
Yes. I doubt if they'll ever get to the bottom of it.
Oh, I expect they will in the end.
I'm really looking forward to this.
This one's too bright, Stephen.
Heavens, dear, I didn't know all that sex business was going on at Grace Brothers. How did you put up with it day after day? Heaven only knows, Mother. When I get back to London, I think we need to have a nice long talk. Perhaps we could invite the vicar to join us for tea. You know what happened the last time? Don't worry, Mother. You know I maintain the most rigid social standards, although they always seem to get me into trouble when I've got my back turned. Oh, look at the time. Morgan's taking me to a party this evening, and I haven't even begun to get ready. He's going to try and sell you to the studio chief tonight. Well, I've never needed any selling before. Perhaps a little prod here and there. Come on, Daisy. Time for walkies.
Now then, here is Daisy's friend, Billy the Basset.
Very realistic, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought you said it owned its arms in a warm and friendly fashion.
I think a little technical adjustment is required, if you will excuse me. Shall I try again, sir?
Yes, please.
Ho, 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 little boy. Have I got a surprise for you?
Lloyd.
Captain Peacock, I refuse to be displayed with a size 50 bust.
Don't worry, that can easily be fixed. Trouble is, you've been overstuffed. Say when, Mrs. Slocum.
Stop him, Captain Peacock. I will not have rough workman's hands inside my bra.
It could be your last chance.
I shall have to make some adjustments. It looks too posed.
Hang on.
I shall smack your wrist if you don't stop interfering with me. There, now. You think that looks more normal?
It's as normal as you're going to get.
I don't like the angle of his head.
Lean it over towards me. That's right. Yes. Nice firm chin. Now just relax. This won't take a moment.
Here, you fractured his seating.
Yes, that's why they wouldn't let me finish it, an osteopath.
Oh, you'll be for it now.
Yes, that's better. Now, I think there's been some misunderstanding as to the purpose of these models. They are designed to help us with our underwear displays.
Well, that can easily be fixed.
Glass of water for Mrs. Slocum. And after seeing that lot, a glass of water for me as well.
This one, sir?
Yes, strip him off.
Pardon?
Strip him off.
Strip him off.
Get on with it.
Come on, Lucas, take the arms. Take the arms.
What a lovely shirt he's got. Why don't we just leave him in his shirt and trousers?
Because we're having a special event in Y-fronts.
Many a true word.
You do the shirt, I'll take the trousers down.
Well, I'll never know how you got away with all that. Thank goodness no one was seriously injured. But actually, I haven't always had a high-pitched voice like this. I must be off. Now, good luck with your storytelling. Goodbye, love. Enjoy your party. Well, my mother seems to have developed a new career as my agent. Now, you stay there. I'll go and put the kettle on. Oh, yes, that's it. Of course. Why didn't I think of that before? Right. Now then, tell me what you think and be honest. After all, we are family. Her long, shapely legs carried her down the stairs with fluid grace. Halfway, she stopped to adjust her stockings, and Captain Peacock rushed forward to assist her down the last few steps. "May I be of service, madam?" he inquired in his most regimental tone. "I wish to purchase a pair of Y-fronts for my nephew," she replied sexily. "But I'm afraid I've forgotten his size." An imperceptible shiver ran through Captain Peacock's body as his raging desire seized control of his entire being. Well, what do you think of it so far? Well, I know it's not gone with the wind. How could my mother get me into such a mess? Look at all this. I've got people coming to tea. Hello? Oh, good morning, Mother. Or is it still good evening out in California? I'm here at the party, and you'll never guess who the host is. Ralph Dorkman, the famous television producer. Ralph Dorkman, and that sounds vaguely familiar. What's he done? Well, have you seen that programme about the monkeys who operate a restaurant? That's one of his. Darwin's Diner. I've never missed an episode. If they ever cancel it, I'll sell my television. But I told him you were writing a book of your adventures for Alfie, and that Morgan's going to make it into a movie, and he thinks your story would make a fantastic television series. He's downstairs talking to the network people right now. Oh, I've always dreamed of being on television, but I never imagined being played by a chimpanzee. No, dear, this one would have humans in it. His idea is a story about tradition versus progress. Young, idealistic employees trapped in an old-fashioned system. Sounds quite noble when you put it like that. I think it's going to be a comedy. He's especially interested in the juniors. You know, battling the establishment from within. It's a bit of a stretch, thinking that our juniors had a higher purpose. Both Mr. Lucas and Mr. Spooner only wanted one thing, and Miss Brahms wouldn't give it to either of them.
Well, Shirley and I are going to the pictures.
I haven't said yes yet.
I wasn't going to ask you that question till after we came out.
I don't know why you bother going out with him at all.
Well, it's either that or taking me mum's washing to the laundrette.
I'm not going there again. I've seen more of your mother's underwear than I have of yours. I was telling you about this bird.
Oh, yes. That's right, yes, because your mother's got a new battery for a deaf aid and you had to spend the night at your girlfriend's digs.
Well, we crept in the back door, took our shoes off and tiptoed upstairs. You see, her landlady won't let her have men in the room after 11 o'clock.
No, I had one like that.
We opened the door, and she said, "Don't switch the light on, it clicks." I held my breath and I crept towards the bed.
Oh, the suspense.
I was just about to sit down. She said, "Don't sit down there, she'll hear the springs."
Oh, it's just like Mission Impossible.
So anyway, we sat down on the rug.
What happened then?
Well, I looked at her and she looked at me. And after 5 minutes, she said, "Well, what are you waiting for?"
Well, what were you waiting for?
Well, I was a bit nervous in case she had a noisy Brough catch. Before we knew where we were, it was bang, bang, bang.
Oh, well, all's well that ends well.
No, that was the landlady knocking on the door. Cool as a cucumber, I picked up the television set and walked straight out. And I said in a very loud voice, "Don't worry, madam, I'll fix your vertical hole by Thursday."
Did you get away with it?
I would have done if I'd been wearing my trousers.
Oh, well, that's not a bad sale. Over 60 quid. That's just over £3 commission.
That's more than I've done all week.
Oh, well, when I retire, you'll be the senior and then you'll have first crack of the whip.
But that means wait until you're 60. Blimey, that's...
Be careful how you add up, Miss Brough.
Why, that's almost 30 years.
Now, you're flattering me just a teeny bit. But you're a bright girl. I know. You can't get home and you want to spend the night.
Well, fate does seem to have thrown us together, Mrs. Slocum.
Oh, no, it hasn't. You can sleep in the spare room with Captain Peacock.
No, it's all right. I'll sleep on the sofa. On second thoughts, I'll sleep with Captain Peacock. Listen, I haven't eaten all day. I suppose a bacon and egg is out of the question.
How did you guess?
I thought it might have been. I'll just lie down and have a quiet rumble.
Mr. Humphries?
Lucas!
Thank heaven for that.
Mr. Lucas, how would you like to rescue Mrs. Slocum?
Is that an order?
Yes. And now, Mrs. Slocum, remember to relax and let your body go.
From the look of it, she already has.
I'm not having him put a finger on me if he's going to be cheeky.
Do you want rescuing or not?
I just don't want any of your lip.
Mr. Lucas, are you ready?
Ready.
Right. Go. Miss Barnes, remove that chair.
That's right. I think one thing was pretty clear from that.
I hope not.
Oh, yes. I remember when I started as a junior in Gentlemen's, young and fresh with a twinkle in my eye and a spring in my step. Well, the twinkles faded a bit, but that spring just never stopped bubbling over, did it? Don't ever grow up, dear. You'll keep me young forever. Thank you, Mother. Time does fly, doesn't it? Seems like only yesterday I'd dash home from school every afternoon and put on your apron, help you with your washing. You look so adorable in that old apron. In fact, you started wearing it so often that I had to bury it in the garden just to get it away from you. Yes, I remember. I bought another one my first week at Grace Brothers. They didn't know what to think. Of course, some of them hadn't a clue to begin with.
Grace, are you free?
I'm free.
Good morning, sir.
The customer would like some trousers.
Ah, yes. Good morning, sir. What size?
34.
Yes. What about the inside leg?
Oh, I've no idea, I'm afraid.
Use my tape, Mr. Grace.
That's quite all right. I've got one of my own, thank you, Mr. Humphries.
You could do a lot with one of those, couldn't you, Mr. Humphries?
Matter of fact, I did all my early training with one just like that. Mine had a bit more spring in it.
I say, should he be working at his age?
Well, I shall work until I drop.
He's dropped.
I could still do it, you see.
Yeah, bully for you, Mr. Grace.
Excuse me, sir. I should come over here if I were you. We'll never make it as far as that.
Oh, good Lord, they're not for me. They're for my au pair, Helga.
Nurse!
I just put new batteries in your stress indicator.
Have I worn out already?
Yes. You must be getting very excited recently, you naughty boy.
Well, it's that secretary of mine.
Yes. Well, let's see if your equipment's working properly. Are you ready for the test?
Yes. Funny, I should be flashing. Hold on a minute. Try again.
Are you all right, Mr. Grace?
I'm all right. Lucky they're only my reading glasses.
Mr. Grace, you asked me to get Mr. Rumbold.
Oh.
Well, he's on the line.
You're looking very pretty this morning.
Oh. Thank you very much, sir.
How about dinner tonight?
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Do you want my wife as well?
Are you going on about Rumbold?
I said, do you want my wife?
You'd do anything to get on in this firm.
You sent for me?
Oh, yes. Unplug my charger, will you? We don't want to waste electricity.
Will there be anything else, sir?
Yes, you're fired.
Now, you'll have to hold your pose a bit longer to allow this plate to develop. And try not to blink when the flash goes off. Now get in a line. Now back up a bit. A nice smile while I look at you from this end here.
I can't hold this expression much longer.
Could you hurry up, please? I'm running out of sincerity.
I've just come down from Mr. Grace's office. Apparently, he'd given Mr. Armand the wrong powder. This is the one for the flash.
What's he got in there, then?
Gunpowder for the distress cannon on his yacht.
I better tell him.
Oh, you're responsible! Don't blame me, it was the equipment.
I can only see a bit of the pink from here.
I can see quite a lot from here.
You're not going to make me rush it?
No, no. Take all the time in the world.
I'm so saddened to hear about young Mr. Grace. Oh, Yes, the scuba diving accident. Simply shocking. Mr. Grace was always so careful. His nurse was always with him when he went down. But then it happened. Hundreds of feet underwater, and then his air ran out, too deep to reach to the surface in time, desperately lashing out for his nurse's equipment and sucking on it for all he was worth. A gallant effort to the very end. Poor man. Did his nurse make it out safely? Well, the doctors think she'll be perfectly fine as soon as the teeth marks heal. At least he wasn't alone when his time came. Mr. Grace was never alone. In fact, he made every effort to make sure that the staff were never alone either. I think if it were up to him, we wouldn't have ever left the store.
Get it in, you see, Captain Peacock.
Do it from inside.
Yes, all right.
Get inside, Mrs. Get the spigot into the socket.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Captain Peacock, are you free?
Yes, Mrs. Slocum.
Could I have your assistance for a moment?
Certainly.
There's no curtain at my window.
I shouldn't worry, Mrs. Slocum. I mean, you'll be sleeping on the floor, and only a very tall person could see anything, and even then he'd have to stand on tiptoe.
That's what I was thinking.
But apart from that, I mean, one usually finds that condensation steams up the window.
Oh, it all seems very primitive.
Yeah.
Pyjamas, lovely bright pyjamas. Get your pyjamas off me. Here you are, fresh pyjamas, fresh from the sales discount department. There you are, missus. Room for you and a friend.
What awful common things. Oh, well, I suppose they're better than nothing.
I think I'd prefer you in nothing.
Miss Brahms, our sleepwear has arrived.
What size are you?
Oh, not for me, thanks. I never wear anything in bed. I don't like rough things next to my skin.
You're lucky you ain't got me in there with you.
You will wear pyjamas tonight, Miss Brahms. Suppose there was a fire and you had no clothes on.
Oh, I'll be first to be rescued.
Are you all right, Mr. Granger?
I'm trying to get my trousers off. It isn't easy, you know.
Nice pair of bananas, Mr. Granger.
Oh, right. I think perhaps it would be more dignified if I changed in the gentleman's cloakroom.
Ooh, the things you see when you haven't got your gun.
Mr. Granger, you've left your flap open. On your tent.
I don't think that was very funny, Mr. Lucas.
Mr. Lucas, you're not in bed yet.
No, I'm just going, sir.
Turn this light out for us, will you?
Certainly, sir.
Not the lever.
Oh! Place, Mr. Tempest.
Careless monkey.
I'm sorry.
You did that deliberately, didn't you?
No, I didn't. You were holding the bucket the other way.
Look at this.
Well, I mean, I couldn't.
You wouldn't dare.
Oh, yes, I would.
I believe you would.
Oh, look at him. He's always so stuck up. Now you look like a clown.
You chauvinistic.
Captain Peacock, I'm surprised. Have you all gone mad? I've never seen such a disgraceful exhibition. Now, Mr. Grace makes this generous gesture, and this is how you repay him. If there are any more incidents of any kind, there will be no club at all.
Hey!
Mr. Lucas, what on earth are you doing in that?
I couldn't get home last night because of the fog, so I spent the night in the camping departments. Unfortunately, the zip is stuck.
Oh, here, get out of this thing. Look, there, the store's open. Oh.
Yes!
Babies? Where did they come from?
My mother brought them. These are the twins. She's got the triplets. She's taking them to bingo.
Oh, kettle, Miss Brahms. Oh, and while you're in there, light the gas under the cods' heads. We'll have a nice cup of tea. Would you like a bean bag?
I prefer Tetley's.
No. I mean to sit on. I believe they're very comfy.
I hope not.
Come and sit next to me, Mr. Humphries, and give me a baby.
I only came in for a cup of tea.
Come along, let me take you. Now then, I'll show you how to put it to sleep. Here, did your mother ever sing this to you? Sweetest little fellow everybody knows.
Yes, and I'm still trying to find out who told them.
I remember that one.
Oh, right, then after 3. 1, 2, 3.
Sweetest little fellow everybody knows. Don't know what to call him, but he's mighty like a rose. Looking at his mummy, eyes of shiny blue. Don't know what to call him, but he's just been to the loo. I remember those nights. The house was so quiet without you tossing and turning in your sleep. Turned once or twice. I used to have this dream that I was in the ring with 2 giant sumo wrestlers. Every time they collided, I ended up between them. Talk about the earth moving. Well, dear, I'd love to chat all night, but I should get back to the party. Do I need to send anything to Mr. Dorkman? Well, nothing's actually firm yet, but Ralph did say something about having the first 3 scripts ready by the end of the week. Mother, I have to write a book by Tuesday, finish a screenplay by Thursday, and now you're telling me I have to deliver 3 television scripts on Friday. If fortune and fame are going to take this much effort, I think I'd rather remain anonymous. Oh, dear, you know all the stories by heart. All you have to do is simply put them down on paper. Well, you know best. Goodbye, Mother. Oh, enjoy your party. Oh, and have a nice day. Right, well, let's see. Chapter 3. Mrs. Slocum's Hair, Part 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. Hello. Oh, good evening, Mother. Now, what have you got for me now? A part in Terminator 15? Now, don't be facetious. I'm doing this for your own good, dear. You're going to need an income now that Grace Brothers has shut its doors for good. Of course, Mother, you're absolutely right. Will I still be collecting you at the airport tomorrow? Oh, yes. Do you know, the past few days have been so exhilarating, it had put it completely out of my mind. But I have more wonderful news. Are you sitting down? Yes. Even if I fainted, my rewrites would cushion the fall. After the party, we went on to an exclusive club for a nightcap, and there was this handsome man at another table who caught my eye. Perhaps you've heard of him, David Tonic. I think he's been knighted. Heard of him? David Tonic? David Tonic has influenced countless generations of stage performers. Why, he convinced Andrew Lloyd Webber that as far as animals go, cats would be much more appealing than toads. After all, Mrs. Slocum's always had great success with her pussy. Exactly me. I told him you were hard at work on a movie and a television deal, but that your heart has always been in the theatre. He's very keen on the idea of turning your story into a musical. Oh, Mother, oh, you've outdone even yourself this time. Oh, this is absolutely marvellous. The stage, the music, the ovation, my name in lights 10 feet tall illuminating the Great White Way. Oh, I must be dreaming. No, it's no dream, dear. When I mentioned your performances at Grace Brothers, he began taking notes. He's quite interested. I've never experienced anything as thrilling as treading the boards. It's too bad we never had the time or the budget to get it right.
Sherman band, ready?
Ready when you are, mate.
3, and...
To be gentle.
I was gentle. I just went like that.
You did not. You went like that.
I did not go like that.
Well, next time I shall go like that.
In that case, I shall go like that.
Two can play that game.
Captain Peacock. Left bank, Bert Spooner, Chanson d'amour. Music.
Chanson d'amour. Play encore. Here in my heart. More and more. Chanson d'amour. Je t'adore. Each time I
He's waving his arms.
His voice is gone. Quick, put that tape on.
Sam, quick, put that tape on. What speed's that tape?
7.5.
7.5, but we run at 15. Susan, this could be the end of your career.
It's just not my day.
They're all the same as us.
Not exactly the same, mush.
Well, what are we going to do? We can't all do the ballet of the toys.
Well, we'll have to do what we did last year.
Well, we've only got a couple of minutes. We're the first turn.
Mr. Lucas, you're forgetting the fairy dust.
I'm trimming my sails.
In my top hat and my white tie and my tails. Silver Army excellent.
Stepping out with my baby.
Can't be back 'cause he's in right.
Ask him when will the day be?
The big day may be tonight.
The smooth sailors are trimming my sails. My tall hat and my white tie. Stepping out with my baby. And the runs on the right. Asking when will the day be? The big day may be tonight. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Grace. Happy birthday to you.
You know, they just don't do that sort of thing in American department stores. In fact, they don't have stores like Grace Brothers here at all. They have malls. Do you know there's a mall out here that covers 50 square miles? It's called Beverly Hills. Oh, I've seen it on television. From what I understand, it's even got its own postal code. Just try to find someone to serve you. You get more help from the mannequins. Oh, go on and on, but I'm taking you away from your writing. Yes, love. Now have a pleasant flight. I'll see you at Heathrow in the morning. Oh, it's odd, isn't it? All these years I've worked for Grace Brothers, I never really appreciated what a strange place it was. Now that I'm looking at it from a writer's point of view, I'm not surprised the customers acted the way they did. It's a wonder they didn't burn the place to the ground years ago.
Leave it to me, Miss Brahms. I'm just in the mood. Now, madam, and what's the trouble?
Well, look at this. I followed the washing instructions to the letter, and look what's happened. And look at the label. It says quite distinctly, non-shrink.
Madam. I have here the identical garment. There. You see? Compare the labels. The label hasn't shrunk. You can't have a refund.
I assume that the instructions apply to the cardigan.
Did you? Well, hard cheese.
I'm going to take your name.
I'm sorry, madam, we're not allowed to give names.
Well, in that case, I shall remember your face.
There we are. Now, this is a lovely pair. They're £6.25.
Oh, dead cheap. I'll have them.
I'll have a pair as well, please.
I'm afraid this is the only pair we have.
Well, I was here first.
Yes, but I spoke first.
I'm terribly sorry, sir, but this gentleman was here first. I must let him have them.
Oh, damn. I've been to every shop in the town to try and get a pair of gloves like that, and now I've been pipped at the post.
Oh, let him have them.
No. No, you were here first. You must have them.
No. I insist. At his time of life, he deserves some consideration.
Well, he's not getting any.
I did want those gloves.
Oh, shut up, you silly old fool.
Yeah, if this is the way you treat your customers, I wouldn't dream of buying a pair of gloves here.
I did too well, didn't I?
There we are, madam. We've had it repaired for you. And the factories say they've put in extra strong elastic at the back. But if I were you, I'd take only shallow breaths to begin with. Until you've got it run in.
What waist are you, sir? 36. But 40 would be more comfortable.
36 but 40.
And your inside leg, sir? Measure it. I beg your pardon. Measure it. I've always worn the kilt. Never worn breeks in my life. Just a minute. Mr. Granger, can I borrow your tape measure? I've got to take that gentleman's inside leg.
I'd prefer that you borrowed Mr. Humphries.
Mr. Humphries, do me a favour. Take that man's inside leg.
Don't ask me. I've given it up for Lent. Anyway, he's your customer.
Well, all right, then. Well, lend me your tape measure.
Oh, here. But don't lose it anywhere. Hang on a minute. What's going on? I'm warming the end a bit.
Lady will take care of you, sir.
He's handsome.
It's mine.
Good morning.
I wish to buy some perfume.
Well, as you can see, we have quite a large range. Now, this one is called Hilarity. It's inviting and at the same time amusing.
Pardon. There is a background of onions.
Yes, well, I made a hot pot before I come in.
Perhaps this young lady will demonstrate one for me. Perhaps this one, huh? Pardon. Ah, yeah. Very sexy.
Oh, yes, all the men say that. Unfortunately, we only have the spray left, and it's £10.
That is ideal.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, shall I have it gift wrapped?
No, thank you. I will wear it.
Did you find what you were looking for, then?
No. But wearing this, I have high hope.
Here you are, Mrs. Slocum. 12 brass.
Oh, I wonder what the German is for that. Bustenhalter? Bustenhalter? Doesn't it sound crude?
Yes, come on, let's see what they look like. Right. That's an altar. You could carry a lot of coal in these.
Whatever size is it?
Says here, clean.
Klein, Miss Brahms. That means small. Good afternoon, madam. May I help you and the young gentleman?
Very naughty, Cedric. You must forgive him. It's his birthday.
Many happy returns, little boy. Certainly. Mrs. Slocum, are you free for a hat?
Oh, yes, Captain Peacock. Do come this way, madam. We do have other hats as well as the ones you see on display. Oh, what a dear little boy.
It's his birthday.
What a pity I can't give him some.
Peter Pan!
What is it, Mr. Humphries?
Mr. Rumbold wants you.
Can you take over from me?
I'm afraid not, Captain Peacock. I'm right in the middle of demonstrating the magic mushroom tree. I'll take over. The end. 300 pages in only 2 days. And it's a fine piece of work, even though I do say so myself. Now then, you stay there. I'm going to pop down to the post office, mail my memoirs to Hollywood. I shall grab a quick bite to eat, and then I shall start on the movie. Hello? Oh, Mother, what wonderful timing. I was just about to post the manuscript to Mr. Friggin. That's nice, dear, but I'm afraid I've got a bit of bad news. Oh, don't tell me the book deal's off. Well, I'm sorry, love, but I guess it just was never meant to be. Mother, I've just spent the last 48 hours without sleep. My back's sore, my head's killing me, and I've absolutely no feeling left in my fingers. And there are still parts of me that I haven't had the opportunity to test yet. I still have the other projects. The movie, the television, and, of course, Broadway. Well, not as such, dear. You see, without the book, there are no other projects. I'm afraid in the excitement of the moment I neglected to get anything in writing. So I've done all this work for nothing. Well, yes, but I'll read it. Now then, I shall be home tomorrow morning. All right. I'll see you then. Goodbye, Mother. Well, that's nice, isn't it? No book. No movie. No television. And bang goes Broadway. Who needs Broadway when I've got you? Who needs Broadway? They know what they can do. Stick to what we do. Selling off the peg and take another inside leg.